What's up, guys? As you can see, we're not in the studio at home. We're actually at the Abilities Expo in Chicago. And this podcast is going to be a little different. It's going to be like a speedcast. The sound is not going to be as great because of how wide open this space is. But I hope you guys enjoy it. Please enjoy this Life to the Max speedcast.
Just a couple of punts, all trying to get by. Just a couple of teens, all trying to survive. Live to the max, cause you don't live it twice. Couple green thumbs, all high as a cat.
What's up, everybody? It's Life to the Max podcast. We are at the Abilities Expo in Schaumburg, Illinois. It is June 21st, 2025, and today I have a very special guest with me, Cory Lee.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, man.
Really appreciate the opportunity to be on your podcast.
Dude, I thank you so much for coming on. I know you've been so busy at the expo.
Yeah, of course. I'm happy to be here. It's been a fun weekend so far.
We were talking earlier. You have muscular dystrophy?
Yeah, I have a form of muscular dystrophy called spinal muscular atrophy, which basically means that my muscles are very weak and they do degenerate over time. So I probably won't have the same abilities 10 years from now that I do today. So that really kind of serves I think as a constant motivator for me to travel now while I'm undoubtedly more able than I will be in the future. So I'm on a mission to do as much as I can now while, I'm the most able I'll probably ever be.
Do you think you are, do you think there's research out there that could help you out?
I mean, there are new medications that are coming out. We actually just got the first medication just a few years ago for SMA. And I mean, there are constantly new advancements being made. So, I mean, I don't really know what the future may hold. I mean, the research is looking promising, but it could be a decade away, before we see real change or more than that.
How old are you, Cory?
I am 35.
I'm 29, about to hit 30.
Oh, nice. Almost 30.
Oh,
No, it all goes downhill at 30.
Is it really? Okay, well, let's talk about something good.
Okay.
So you started Curb Free with Cory Lee in 2013, is it?
Yeah, I started in 2013, and I really it started just from realizing that there was a lack of accessible travel resources on the internet. And so I wanted to create a website where other wheelchair users could go to and hopefully, find out what's accessible around the world.
How did you reinvent the wheel?
I mean, honestly, when I started, there weren't really a lot of accessible travel blogs even. There were only 2 or 3 out there, and they were mostly focused on traveling in the US or national parks within the US. And so there wasn't really a space where people were, covering international travel or travel really even that frequently. The ones that existed weren't publishing frequently enough, I guess. And I just wanted, there was really an opportunity there that I saw that just wasn't being taken back in 2013.
Okay, so explain the progression from 2013 to 2025.
Oh, it's been a wild ride.
Yeah.
I mean, it really took a couple of years for me to kind of get my foot in the door and have any kind of an audience at all on social media. So for those first couple of years, I mean, I was trying to publish content every single day, build up my audience on Facebook, Instagram, the blog. And then after a couple of years, I started reaching out to destinations and to different travel companies and asking if they would be open to collaborating or partnering. And luckily, a few of them said yes. And I remember one of the first destinations I ever worked with was Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. And they were we'll give you an attractions pass and you can go to these attractions for free if you'll write 2 blog posts and do social media content.
That's
I just thought that
awesome.
was the best thing in the world, to get to go to a free attraction,
Yeah.
And now though, destinations are covering hotels, flights,
Wow.
they're paying me to come out and create content and work with them to really showcase accessibility. So I mean, it's grown beyond my wildest dreams, honestly.
How does that make you feel from your first flight? So can you explain your first flight to me?
Yeah, my first ever flight, I did my first flight when I was 13 years old.
Okay.
And it was a Make-A-Wish trip, actually, and I went to Los Angeles, and I was a presenter on the Teen Choice Awards. So,
Really?
yeah, at the age of 13, I mean, that was like the greatest thing in the world to get to be a
Yeah.
presenter on the Teen Choice Awards, and I presented an award to Kelly Clarkson on TV, and
What?
it was like the most epic Make-A-Wish of all time, I think. But yeah, I had so much fun doing that. But I mean, it was definitely scary, like to take that first flight, but I was so young that it just didn't really bother me. Like I had no fear about anything at that point.
Yeah.
And sadly, though, like air travel hasn't really gotten much better in the past 22 years since I was
Can
13.
you explain that? Oh, the air travel.
Yeah, I mean, air travel, I mean, it's by far the part of traveling that I dread the most. I mean, undoubtedly. But I mean, there are things that, I do to help prevent any damages, like I bubble wrap the wheelchair. I take parts of the wheelchair off and put them in a carry-on bag to take on the plane with me. But I'm really hopeful, like my ultimate dream would be that one day I can just roll on the plane and stay in my
Oh, me
wheelchair.
too.
I mean, that would be a game changer.
So you've traveled to over 100 countries, is that correct?
I wish. I'm trying to get there, but I've been to 52 countries so far and all 7 continents.
Wow. So what what was it like actually going overseas for the first time?
Yeah, the first like overseas trip that I took was a cruise to the Bahamas actually. So not
Oh,
like anything too daunting, but that trip, I mean, it really like it was only like a 3-night cruise to the Bahamas, but it was the first time that I was able to experience a different culture and like try new foods and meet new people. And
yeah.
I mean, it really sparked something inside of me. I did that when I was 15 years old. And it sparked something inside of me that just made me think, like if the Bahamas can be this close and this easy to get to, then what would somewhere like India be like, or Australia, or South
Yeah.
Africa, or all of these far flung places around the globe? And so that really motivated me to see more of the world.
Dude, that's absolutely beautiful because so many people are. So for me, like, I want to fly, but I'm
Yeah.
terrified that my wheelchair is going to get messed up, man.
And trust me, I completely get it. I mean, every single time that I fly, I mean, I'm like stressing myself out so much. Like, even the day before the flight, then I'm like, maybe I shouldn't even go on this trip. Like,
Mm,
is it even worth it to go? But I try to just like constantly remind myself, like, there are people out there that need to see wheelchair users in unfamiliar territory and in new places around the world. And we're so often seen as like not being able to travel. Like that's the perception. So why not travel internationally? And I just want to like shatter that.
Sometimes we're seen as like not people,
Oh, absolutely.
which I hate.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
It's
even here in like our own country, I feel like, and when we travel internationally, like a lot of times, like, I mean, I remember when I was in India, I mean, people rushed up to me and said it was the first time they had ever seen a power wheelchair. And so they were like crying and could not believe that a power wheelchair even existed. And one guy told me, so well, my brother is at home and he's never left the house in like 20 years because we don't know how to get him out. Like, how much is this power chair? And he like wanted to get one. And when I told him the price, which as you know, like they're
yeah,
stupid expensive,
yeah.
he like started crying again because he was so discouraged. And like it shouldn't be that case like around the world to be so difficult to be able to move.
It's all bureaucracy
Yeah,
here. It's a really that really sucks. Can you recommend like a airline, like the best airline?
Yeah, so for me, I mean, I usually fly with Delta, but I'm based near Atlanta, which is Delta's home base. So they have more nonstop flights out of Atlanta than any other airline. But statistically, Delta actually damages the least amount of wheelchairs
Really?
compared to every other airline. So Delta is statistically the best. And then the worst airline is Spirit.
Spirit.
Yeah,
So
Spirit
my,
damages the most
so my
wheelchairs.
sister's a flight attendant. She works for Frontier. She absolutely hates how they treat disabled people. She
Yeah.
hates
I've
it.
never flown with Frontier, but they are like one of the lowest, like statistically as well, with like damaging the most wheelchairs.
100%. Dude, so what was your favorite vacation? I know you've been to a bunch of places, but what
Yeah.
place really lit you up?
I mean, it's hard for me to choose like one, so I'll give a top three.
Top three.
I would say Thailand. I mean, I went just a couple months ago to Bangkok and
Yeah.
Kanchanaburi and Hua Hin, and I mean, it's such an amazing country, and the people are like the friendliest in the world. I was able to go to an elephant sanctuary and feed elephants. I got a tattoo from a monk in Thailand, which was pretty
That's
awesome.
awesome.
And I know you have a lot of tattoos,
Yeah.
and you would probably love this story, but in exchange for the tattoo, they gave me the tattoo outside by a river, at a temple
Okay.
actually, and a monk did it. And in exchange for the tattoo, all I had to give them was a pack of cigarettes and some flowers. So
What?
it was a wild experience, but definitely one of the most memorable. And then for the other two destinations that I really love, I would also say India and Morocco. And I think I would choose them just because they're unlike anywhere else in the world.
That is amazing, man. And what places would you not recommend for people in wheelchairs that have uh, you know, progressed with wheelchair accessibility?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to like discourage people from traveling to any destination because I think, I mean, obviously there are places that it's not possible to travel with a power wheelchair, like because I need adapted transportation and things like that. And that just doesn't exist in some places. But in the majority of destinations that I've even like researched or been interested in visiting, like, there is a way to go there. There are companies that specialize in accessible travel. So, I mean, but I personally had the worst experience in Paris, France. And I went back in 2011, and it was just incredibly difficult to get around the city. But I've heard that it has gotten much better since then. So, I mean, I would like to go back one day and hopefully, see it has improved.
I can imagine the EU has a bit of. My brother told me like he went to Germany a few times. He
Yeah,
told
yeah.
me that it is not ADA accessible,
Yeah.
but there are places that are accessible,
Oh, yeah.
and like you put the name of accessible in a lot of places because you're like reinventing the wheel.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
so
I
you said,
appreciate that.
that you're writing, you wrote a children's book. Can you explain
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. Back in 2020, my mom and I co-wrote a children's book called Let's Explore with Core. And it's all about a kid in a wheelchair that travels the world. And every destination that is featured in the book is one that I've actually been to. So they are accessible destinations. And I really just hope that the book is showing like kids with disabilities what's possible. But I also hope that it's showing like kids that are able bodied that wheelchair users can get out there and have these really incredible experiences around the world.
How's that come about? Like since how's the people the validation been?
Yeah, I mean, it's been incredible just to like see the response and I mean, meet the kids that have like read the book and see their reactions to it. And it's definitely like heartwarming whenever I meet a kid that's like, oh, like I love Core and I want to go these places because Core went, like it's a really special thing to hear.
So, dude, that you're gonna make me fucking cry, man. Like that's so incredibly sweet, and now you're making it new book as well.
Yeah. We're working on the second book and we are almost done with it. And it's going to be called Let's Soar with Core. And it's all about Core's first flight. So, I mean, as we were
You
talking
were just
about,
talking about that.
yeah, just like we were talking about, like, I mean, I know there's so many fears about flying as a wheelchair user. And I mean, I want, like, in Let's Soar with Core, it's going to really walk through the entire flying experience for Core. And so I hope that, it'll like help eliminate some of those fears, but also answer questions about like how can travel be easier if you use the wheelchair.
So, for a first-time traveler, what would you recommend for someone in a wheelchair to go to?
like a destination
Not
or
destination, just any trip
just
that's over.
just a tip.
Like a cruise maybe.
Yeah. I definitely think cruises are probably the easiest way to travel
Really?
if you're a wheelchair user because everything that you need is right there on the ship. So you don't have to worry about finding an accessible taxi just to go to dinner or just to go see a Broadway quality show, or the pools are accessible on many ships, like they have a pool lift. So there's so much that you can enjoy right there on the ship without having to worry about finding accessible transportation, which is always like my biggest worry whenever I get to a destination is, well,
Yeah.
and now I'm here, like, how am I going to get around? And is it actually going to show up and get me, So,
That terrifies me
yeah.
because I'm on a fine labor. So I'm like, crap, man. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, if there's no like accessible, like like the taxis
Right.
basically or Ubers.
Oh, yeah.
So it is scary.
Yeah. It's
So
definitely a concern for me as well. Yeah.
how do you like your life's kind of an enigma, man. Like you started 2013, now
Yeah.
you're making books and you're changing the world. That's something I'm trying to do. What advice would you give me?
I think just keep pushing forward. Like, there in this journey, in my journey, there have been many, many days when I've been like, is it even worth it? Like, should I give up? Is anybody listening? Like, is the industry ever going to change and become more accessible? But I think the longer that we keep at it and we keep fighting and like
Yeah.
pushing forward, like the more change that we can create. And I know, like, in the past 12 years since I started, like I have seen a change within the travel industry. And there are now more destinations that are caring about accessibility and focusing on it than there ever have been before. And just here at Abilities Expo, like I see the impact that, people with disabilities are having within the world. And it's really incredible to see. And if we're not out there trying to do this and create change, then nobody's going to. So, I think it's really up to people like us to get the word out and just, make a change.
Corey, what are you most grateful for?
I would say I'm most grateful. That's a good question. Just for the ability to be able to travel. Despite having a disability. Like, yeah, it's hard. Like, it's tremendously difficult. But the fact that I can do that and have some kind of an impact within the travel industry, is something that I'm thankful for every single day. And it never gets old. But when someone reaches out to me and they're like, "Hey, I traveled to Iceland because I saw that you went there," like
Yeah.
just meeting people that have that I've influenced to travel for the first time. Like, there's nothing better than that.
That is absolutely beautiful, man. Hey, I want to thank you so much for making the time to come on my show.
Yeah, of
I
course.
know,
Thanks for having me.
I know you're like super busy. You gotta go in like several minutes, and I really appreciate it. And sure, do you have anything you would want to say to the people out there?
Yeah, if anybody is watching or listening and has any questions about traveling as a wheelchair user, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram at Cory Lee, or you can read along on my blog at curbfreewithcorylee.com.
All right, thank you so much, man. For everybody who likes this content, please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, take a breath for me. Thank you so much, Cory Lee. I really appreciate you making the time.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Max. I really appreciate it.
Every